What's going on, YouTube's V85 here. I want to try to start doing these weekly tournament reports again. I tried to do them a couple months back and just kind of fell off the wagon, and that's when I wasn't really going to locals that much because of work and shit like that. But, now that I can actually make it a routine of going back to locals and actually playing and doing texting and actually having fun in this game, I want to start doing this and trying to be more up to date and more regular with this whole YouTube stuff again. So, Tourney Report, I played Geargia-Karakuri again and went X1 for 4 rounds, so it was pretty good. I am going to make that big change. In my profile a couple days ago, I said that I might change the Cyber Dragons out for D prisons. Yeah, that's definitely happening. I noticed every single time I had Cyber Dragon in hand, and even if I had a strategist to go with the Cyber Dragon or had Barrel to go with the Cyber Dragon to make a Karakuri synchro, yeah, not the most optimal play. Usually, just keep the Cyber Dragon and set a Geargia armor and, start collecting accelerators from there. So, that's pretty much like the way it went. I think I used Cyber Dragon one time, and it was literally to bait out a bottomless that I know my opponent had, because he got it off of duality. So, summoned Cyber Dragon, he bottomlessed and went for the Geargia spam and all that kind of shit after that. So, yay! So yeah, Cyber Dragons are definitely going to become deep prisons now. So, that out of the way. Tournament report. Let's talk about some of the rounds. Round 1 was against Medulce, and it was a 2-0 match to me. And round 1, he drew everything, and so did I to counter him. And I went first, so I won the dice roll. And he got me really low because in the first couple turns he made me waste my Solemn on a Chateau, which was bad. And he made me waste a warning on one of his, I think, on a Magellan. And I finally just held him off. He had the co-op sound, the little puppy thing, and he bounced. I had a set armor down. It's the first one I'd drawn the entire game, and it was like turn 5 when I finally got my armor. And he summons the dog and bounces another Chateau to get its effect, and then activates the Chateau. I chain my one MST that I had drawn so far, and he went and attacked again with his 18 guy, and did 100 and went from the spam there. And then round 2, he drew nothing, and I drew the nuts. I OTK'd him turn 4. It would be my turn 2, so it'd be turn 4 since he went first. So just did the Karakuri spam, blah blah blah. Round 2 was against Rabbit, which was my loss. It was a 2-1 game. Game 1, he went first because he won the dice roll and drew Rabbit's Ore Guide with back row. Yeah, scoop it. Round 2, we did exactly what those two decks are meant to do against each other. We grinded the entire game. We grinded. We didn't start doing life point damage until like turn 10 on each other. It was crazy. All we did was like turn 1 is like set 1, set 4 back row pass. And then he did the exact same thing. And we just sat there the entire game, like, collecting cards. Occasionally MST in one and seeing what we could hit. And he eventually moved in with Adulka, and I got him to waste those negations, and then got off my arsenal effect to get my last armor and started going from there. And the entire time I had him underneath Rivalry of Warlords the entire time too. So that's why he couldn't go into his Xyz place. And because Rivalry just, it kills the Xyz for that deck. And, it really doesn't do anything to mine whatsoever. So, so he pretty much just sat there with a Sabersaurus and a Guaiba the entire game, and just had to use them as his defense and his offense. So it was a very, very interesting game until I finally he drew the Heavy Storm first, and I had the Starlight. So, and I didn't have any monsters on board. So I Starlighted, brought out my Stardust, and he smashed it the next turn. So at this point, I had two back row. I know one was a dead warning because I was like 1600 or something like that, and one was an MST. And I had heavy for forever, and I had dark hole for forever. So I go heavy first, and he doesn't have the Starlight. It's like warning, bottomless lance, and I think another MST or something like that. And then I dark hold him, and then just went off from there. So game 3 was again, we slow played it again, but he drew better than I did. Like I drew no monsters except for a Geargia Mark II the entire game, so that sucked. And so he won that pretty quick. Game 3 was against Rabbit again. Was it Rabbit? No, Monarchs. Frog Monarchs. And he game won me pretty easily because he just drew everything. Drew the Soul Exchange, drew the enemy controllers, and just did everything. So we went into game 2, and I OTK'd him. We went into game 3, and I controlled him the entire time. I had at one point, my field was a Geargan X, which he attempted the enemy control, and he took it before I could activate its effect, and I mind controlled it, and took it back, got the effect, and spanned from there. So I had a dead attacker for Geargan X, so that's 23 less than what I could have done. Plus I had a Beret, a Beredo, and a Quick that I needed to make a Stardust with. And so I attacked his last monster, which I don't even remember what it was. It was something small. But I attacked that with the Quick, and excuse me. Attacked him directly with both, and he ended up dropping Gores on me on the 28. So instead of making Stardust, I ended up making Scrap Dragon instead, and popping a Dead Fiendish Chain that was on board, and his Gores token. And from there, I just controlled him on. His one main misplay he did the entire game, he was dead drawing, and he dead drew into Cyber Dragon. And what he did, I don't know why he did this exactly, but he specialed his Treeborn from Grave and tributed for Cyber Dragon. I had Bottomless, and I played it on his Cyber Dragon, but he didn't even realize that he didn't have Chimera Tech in extra either, so it was dead anyway. So so that was game 3, so that was 2-1. And the last round was, again, Rabbit. Game 1, he got me. Flat out, got me. Game 2 and 3, I drew the Gozens and the Rivalries, and we grinded. That's all we did. It was grind. Game 3, however, he had me down to 400 life points because he kept on smacking me in the face with Sabersaurus, and I didn't have any response to it. Like, nothing. Nothing. And he couldn't draw any other monsters that were dinos. So he wasn't drawing Guaibas, he wasn't drawing any more normals. So just kept on smacking me in the face with Sabersaurus until I drew the armor. And that's what opened it up. And first, I had to get rid of his backfield and all this kind of shit. That game, he, this is the reason he kept on smacking me with Sabersaurus. And I remember this vividly because I looked at my hand, I was like, I want to scoop so freaking bad after I saw this. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play it out because he set 4 back row. I drew all 3 MST and the heavy, an opening hand. I'm not shitting you. All 3 MST and heavy and a compulse. And then my turn in my card 6 was a Phoenix Chain. I'm like, fuck me! Oh my god! So he set his 4 back row. I'm like, you know what? He's gotta have a Starlight back there. So I go MST number 1 and hit a warning. MST number 2 and I hit a D-Prison. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? If he's got the road, he's got it. So I go heavy. He doesn't have it. I'm like, fuck me. So I set 3 and pass. So that's why he kept on hit me with Sabersaurus, because I was just saving the compulse the entire time. So pretty much every game that came down to a grind halt, it was armor that saved my ass. And that damn monster is fucking MVP of the main deck. Seriously. Yeah, that was pretty much the tournament. I ended up getting 3rd overall. I got 4 Astral Packs. Ended up pulling Gates of Dark World, a Terraforming, I think another Tefnuit, and Photon Thrasher. Photon Thrasher was so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. But I had a great, I have a best friend that's been, like, dying to get Photon Thrashers because he likes playing, the Photon Hero build, the Skill Drain build and everything. So I traded that to him and everything. And it's got a happy new owner. So that was pretty much locals today. So, like I said, I'll be doing more of this. If you guys out there don't necessarily know how the Geargia-Karakuri deck works, I can do a tutorial on it to see if you guys want to play it afterward and test it. And it's an interesting deck to play with. It's definitely, like I said, it's a grinder deck. You have to have a lot of patience with it to play it. But I don't know why it just beeped. Oh well. So, it's a grinder deck. You have to have patience with it, but oh my gosh, that patience just pays off and everything. It's literally one of those decks that you just wait and wait and wait until you have the absolute, like, optimal time to make your move, because what you're doing is grinding your opponent's resources down while you're just trying to even out and plus yourself. And if you can successfully do that, which isn't hard with the deck, you can grind them down so much to where they have nothing left, and you just kick them in the throat from there. With your Gigan X. Like, literally one turn, you can make Gigan X Beret Burrito. That's close to 8,000 right there, if not over 8,000. It's like 7,000. 7,700 or something like that. And then whatever you can do with a quick, like if you hit, because ideally you want to go Geargia-Nex, you want to go armor. You want to stack up 2 accelerators, and you want to make Geargia-Nex. Remove it. Get your strategist. Set your armor again. Summon your strategist. Activate its effect. Get your armor up, and get your last accelerator, and start sinking out after that. So that's why you're going to have Geargia-Nex, a beret, a Beredo, and your quick on board. Ideally, if your quick is still on board, in the deck at that turn, the special summon. So, like I said, I can give a tutorial on how to play the deck and some the reason I'm playing, some tech choices and all that kind of stuff. With every deck, I mean, every card in the deck makes sense to me. Even like the weird ones like Barrel and everything. I just use it as a Spirit Reaper and a level 2 tuner. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with it. So, yeah, if you want tutorials or any of that kind of stuff, then hit me up. I'll gladly play you guys on DN with it so you get a feel for it. I'll trade deck lists and everything and do what we do from there. So, guys, take care, get some rest, and see you guys later. It's V85, over and out.